everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout process video for the Traveler's Notebook Online design team, and I'm going to be scrapping this cute little collage of photos of my son. These were taken at a friend's house at right around Christmas time 2016, so a couple of years ago now. He was only 2 in these photos. He's very cute and he's pulling lots of really cute little faces, so I wanted to capture all of these little moments. And I'm going to be using this paper pad from Echo Park. This is the Merry and Bright collection, and I was really inspired by the 2x2 journal card sheet in this pack. So all the products I use will be listed in the description box, along with my design team code that gets you 10% off at the Traveler's Notebook Online. So when I first got this paper pack, I knew I was going to use this sheet as a cut apart, and that really inspired me to go for this sort of grid pattern that I do end up going with, as you'll see a little bit later. I do apologize for the lighting in this video. My camera seems to really struggle when I use white scrapbook backgrounds, so the exposure does go in and out a little bit. I've done my best to fix it up, but it's still not perfect. I'm working on it though, so hopefully it will be better in the future. I'm going to use that Merry and Bright card for my title, and that's going to go right in the middle. And then I'm cutting out some squares from the rest of the sheet, and I cut out quite a few actually. I've cut most of it out so you didn't have to watch me going back and forth, but it took me a while to decide on these. These are the ones I end up going with. And I'm going to back the ones with the white background on the B side of a Trim the Tree paper. So it's this beautiful candy cane stripe. And I will end up backing most of these. I think I double back each of these tiles, so just gives it a bit of visual interest. So there we go, I've got those 2 backed. Now I'm going to do all my photos and the title on white. Just give them a little bit of a white border. So I have cut through some of that so you don't have to watch me do it all. It is a pretty tedious process. But I do know I'm going to double back those photos that I've put the white border around. I just want a little bit of, because they are quite dark in the background there, and those pictures that I've used, the little tiles that I've used otherwise are quite light. So now I'm taking the B side of the 2x2 journaling sheet, and I'm going to back those mint coloured journal cards, or journal cards. I wouldn't call them journal cards, but that's what the paper is called. They're called 2x2 journaling cards. So I'm going to use the B side to back those because they've got that mint background and I wanted a bit more of that pink. Now, I love this pattern paper. This is the B side of Bright Bouquet, and I'm going to use that to back or double back all my photos, and I believe I do the title with that one as well. Yes? No? Yes. So you can see the front side of that one is all those beautiful florals, which I will get to in another layout. But I really like that deep red, especially as that matches the red in the photos on my son's shirt and on his little antlers there. Now they stand up, pop off the page really nicely. So now for my final layer on my mint coloured cards, I suppose, I'm going to use that deep green tartan just to bring in a bit more of that green. And then for the back of my white background cards, I suppose, I'm going to use the Winter Wonderland sheet. And this ended up being a little bit busy. I think maybe if I was going to do it again, I'd choose something a bit more solid. But I kind of like it anyway. I'm pretty happy with the finished result. So here I'm deciding which sheet I'm going to use. I want to put a border on, but and I cut most. I went back and forth. I went through every sheet trying to decide which one I wanted to use as a border. And I really went back to that mint and white one, but I do end up going with that red tartan. And I'm glad I did because I used that mint and white one for a completely different layout, and I love that. So you'll see that. That's coming soon. So now I'm just taking my white cardstock and I'm trimming off a couple of centimeters from each side so that when I back it on my backing paper, I will have about a centimeter of a border. So now I have a pretty good idea of where I want to go now. So I pulled out some stamps. This big one is some Kaisercraft. I can't remember exactly where the other little one is from, but I'm just taking the snowflakes and I'm going to use my Versamark clear embossing ink. And what I want to do is a bit of a resist technique. So just laying my tiles out there so I have a bit of an idea of where to place my snowflakes. I want them to sit sort of in the gaps so you can see them. I didn't want them to get completely covered up by the photos and the tiles. So now I'm just taking a white embossing ink and doing some heat embossing, not embossing ink, embossing powder. So it's just white powder and I'm going to emboss those. And you can sort of see, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it in the video, but it goes from a powder to like a shiny white. There, you can see it a bit there on that one. And I skipped through most of this. It did take me a fair while to do all the little snowflakes and it's hard to see on the white. But now I'm going to go in with some watercolor, and what I'm trying to do here is match my color to the mint in that background there, that minty blue sort of color. So I'm just mixing some colors with some water on some packaging there, and then I'm going to go over the stamping that I did, and you can really see now those snowflakes pop up, so they really resist the paint and just suddenly appear like magic. I really, really love doing this technique, especially with snowflakes. And don't mind me there, I picked a really bad paintbrush to do this with and it kept shedding brush hairs and I keep using it for some reason. So, but anyway, I really love how this turns out. This looks really pretty in the end. So I'm going to go over pretty much the whole background, and I did not gesso this. I don't think. I can't remember gessoing it, and I didn't see me doing it in the footage, so I'm pretty sure I didn't. And it does warp a little bit, but I'm also going to stick it down on that background border paper, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So I've gone ahead and just done some splatters there. And now on the remaining part of the white, or most of it, I'm going to try and copy that pink. So I'm just taking that candy pink and then a little bit of a beige colour and mixing them together, and that gives that really nice sort of blush baby pink that I'm looking for. And this does go on for a little while. It might seem a bit tedious, but to be honest, I have the TV on while I'm doing this, so I am pretty entertained actually. But I really enjoy doing mixed media, so this is pretty fun for me. And I love how this technique just makes those snowflakes pop right off the background. And the lighting really isn't doing this justice. It looks so much prettier in daylight, in real life. So just going ahead and mixing some more of those colors, and I just keep putting that tile sort of over the top so I have a bit of an idea of where my paint is going to stick out from underneath, because a lot of this is going to get covered up once I put my tiles, I'm calling them tiles, my little squares, back on top of the layout. So now I'm just blotting up all the little puddles I have. I ended up with quite a bit of water, so just trying to get that excess off. And I'm trying to do some splatters with this paintbrush, but it's not the right kind of paintbrush. I'm just getting big splotches. So I do switch up here. There you go. A bit of a finer brush, and that gives me the splatters I'm looking for. Let's pop in a few extras there where I want them. A little bit of a cheat. And now you can see me shaking there my Kaisercraft Gold ink mist spray, gold mist, and I'm just going to splatter that all over and just sucking up the excess on a couple of those spots there. This is such a pretty, nice shiny gold. Now I've decided I'm going to jazz up my title card, so I'm just taking a little bit of tacky glue. I'm just putting some on the back of my hand there. You can tell I'm a makeup artist, and that's my little technique when I'm using paints and glues a lot of the time. It's on the back of my hand, and I'm just splodging some around on those sort of empty spaces. And I'm going to take my Nouveau confetti. This is from the Golden Years set, and I'm using the gold hexagons. And I'm just going to tip them over and obviously catch it in a container because they will make a mess otherwise. But they are just so pretty and shiny. Absolutely love those. Just going in with a little bit more, and this confetti set along with all these papers is available on the travelersnotebookonline.com. So now my background is dry. I'm going in with my right angle ruler, and I'm just going to use that to measure out from my corners, just putting a little spot where I want my to sit so I can make sure they're all even, otherwise that will drive me crazy. And now I'm just going in with some foam tape, and I'm popping up each little tile up on some foam tape. I'm not going to make you watch me back all of these. I'm just going to pop them all up, and then I'm going to stick them all down in a grid pattern. So I want all my photos on the corners, my title in the middle, and then my little images in the remaining spots. Just like that. I love how shiny and bright that confetti made that title, because the words Merry and Bright are already gold foiled. It's just like super, super shiny now. So as soon as I saw this 6, I knew I was going to use that as some kind of tag. I really like the shape of that white section, so I'm just going to fussy cut that out. And I'm pretty certain at this point that I'm going to put my date on there. And I can't actually remember what date this was. But I know it's Christmas time. I really just want the year. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking some of these stickers. These are planner stickers actually from Natty Planning. And I'm just taking the 20 and the 15. I thought it was 2016, but I will have to double check that. It might have been 2015, which means he was only 1.5 actually. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, so long ago. So I'm just cutting those down and sticking on that tab there. And now I'm taking some stickers from the sticker sheet that came in the Echo Park paper set, putting down that Making Spirits Bright up the top, and the little Christmas tree down the bottom, and that little snowflake and little ornament. So I'm just trying to embellish a little bit here. I don't want to go hugely overboard because with the grid there's already quite a bit going on, so I just want to put in a few little bits and pieces. Here I have the Happy Planner sticker book, the seasonal set, and I'm putting in a couple of the little gold foiled clear stickers or clear back stickers. And now I'm going to take the Chirp Kaisercraft sticker book, and both of these sticker books are available on the Traveller's Notebook Online. So I'm just going to take some of these phrases, and I do actually end up moving the Celebrate. You'll see in a minute. I take this You Make Me Smile, and I decided I really want it down there because he is smiling in that photo. So I do peel up the Celebrate and move it because they were far too close together. It didn't look right. So I'm just going to pop that in the top of the Merry and Bright tile, just like that. And that stays there. And then just a little love heart, circle love heart sticker. Now I'm going to put my white down on my border paper. So I'm cutting out the center of this tartan so that I don't waste it. There's no point in covering up that entire sheet. So I'm just taking out the border that I need using my ATG gun, which is also from the Traveller's Notebook Online, and popping down that center part. And then I've gone in off camera and just done a bit of stitching around the edge, mainly just secure it more than anything because it isn't a full sheet of paper. And then I'm just going in and lifting up the edge. I'm not crumpling it or ripping it or making it too distressed. I just lift up the edge to make it stand out a little bit. And now I was looking at my background and I couldn't decide what else it needed, and I thought I would just go in with a little bit of messy thread. I don't like my thread to be super messy. I don't like ends hanging out. So really it's just a little, like a little thread nest, I suppose. But I take this pale pink and I just do a little cluster at the top here, the top right, glue that down with a bit of tacky glue, and then I'm going to go ahead with this minty tealy colour, sort of similar to the colour that is in my little mint tiles there. And see, I like to tuck the, I don't like the ends hanging out. I don't like it too messy. I like it loopy and a little bit messy, but not straggly. It's really hard to explain. And then a couple more stickers from the chirp sticker book. I put in an XO up the top there, and then I'm going to put in a third phrase sticker just to make that set of 3 that I like. And the camera cut out me putting down that little bit of Carpe Diem washi. That's a Holly Jolly washi, and I put it down in the bottom right there underneath that tile. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a little bit of white paper and ripping it to make sort of like a snowdrift for that car to sit on. It just looked a little bit plain, but I didn't want to put another phrase sticker there because I already have that Making Spirits Bright on the one to the right of it. But I really like that. So now I'm just taking one of the tab stickers from the chirp sticker book, cutting it in half and putting half on top of the middle tile there and then half on the bottom. Just adding a little bit of visual interest around those tiles. Now I'm taking one of the circle stickers from the chirp sticker book, and I didn't really need to do this. You can barely see them in the end, but one goes down there on the bottom right, and then I end up putting one up beside the top left one as well, but you just don't see it. It blends in pretty much completely. And then off camera I went in with a few little half pearls. You can see there I put them in the middle of the snowflakes and sort of scattered them around. And I love how that looks. I'm so happy with this layout and how it turned out. And thank you so much for joining me. I really love doing this one. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.